All right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome. If you're sitting here in this channel, then you are at Cafe BTW, a morning gaming podcast. And of course, I'm Andy, aka producer. By the way, producer BTW on Twitter and Cafe BTW on the TikTok machine. You could check down below for all the socials and things. I am so excited. If you see down below, we have a guest this week, and it's none other than Matt, the 1980s gamer on TikTok. What's up, Matt? Thanks for joining me this
Hey,
morning. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
You know
Thanks for
what?
having me.
I got coffee. I don't know if you drink coffee. Are you a coffee person?
I do. I just like black coffee.
You just like black I'm a black coffee drinker. Did you bring any coffee or you're already
No,
you already you're already
I had it because here it's like 11 o'clock, so I don't usually drink too much coffee after like 10.
got it.
I have some seltzer water.
So so Matt, I think what I'd love to do and I obviously, I give my audience a treat of having awesome guests on, and you and I have a something in common. We're both in the retro gaming community on TikTok. And I wanted to first talk just a little bit before we get into all that. I want to learn a little bit about you. And is there anything you could share outside of all the stuff we're going to get into, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do for a living, or what anything interesting in your life that we should know about before we dig into all this gaming stuff?
Yeah, I could tell you a little bit about myself. I'm from like the Maryland in Maryland, and I'm your age. I'm like so I just hit 40.
Oh,
The new decade.
I'm not ready to hit it, but in July I'm hitting it, so I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm not far behind. But yeah, we're very much in the same generation, which is cool too.
Yeah. And not much changes once you hit 40. It's not like once you go from 39 to 40, as you probably know, it's not like a big deal. So don't get too stressed out about it. It's just a number.
It's just a number.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. I agree. So Maryland, you've been in Maryland your whole life?
Yeah, I mean, I did go to college in West Virginia for 4 years, but other than that, I've pretty much lived in Maryland my whole life, like right near DC area.
So do you know Gaithersburg, Maryland? That's
Yeah, I live right near Gaithersburg, actually.
my aunt and uncle live there, and my whole life we'd go there for Thanksgiving every year. So believe it or not,
Oh, no way. That's right up the street from me. That's awesome.
so we must have been in the same vicinity back in the day, and we didn't even know it. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say next time you come to get down there, if you still come, give me a call.
No, definitely. I used to love going into DC. I think DC is a cool city. Very, very into that area. And I guess, would you like, it's totally up to you, but would you like to share what you do for a living or anything interesting from a work side of things from your just normal everyday life?
Yeah, I'm a web developer actually, and I work in DC.
With
So
loud
I,
children, you're a web
yeah,
developer with loud children, right?
I was hoping that wouldn't
I'm
happen,
just
but
kidding. I'm messing with you.
yeah, I guess my daughter's getting a little upset about something.
That's okay. Um,
So
so a web developer, what kind of stuff are we talking about here?
it's just like it's not that interesting. It's just kind of like websites for retirement corporation, and and I send a lot of emails actually too.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize you were into like tech like that. I didn't realize that. So let's
Yeah.
go. Let's talk about something else. What was it like being a gamer in Maryland growing up? Did you have access to a lot of video game stores in that area that you grew up? Because now I know you're a huge retro collector, and we're gonna get into that. But I want to learn a little about what's the culture like in video game collecting in the '80s, '90s in Maryland.
It wasn't that interesting. It was, like go to the mall and go to a game store and do you remember like Electronic Boutique
Of
and
course.
Babbage's and all those game stores? It was kind of like go to one of those stores and pick out a game. And you just have to kind of hope that you like it because there was not a lot of ways to discover games back then other than Nintendo Power and talking to your friends.
Yeah.
And I'd bring it home and most of the time I'd have a good recommendation and I'd get lucky, but there'd be a few duds that I'd pick out and I'd get home after spending like $60 on a game and not getting a good game.
Biff has a question for you, Matt. What was the first console you bought?
The first console that I played was an Atari 2600. This was probably like 1984.
Dude, our generation, because you're a year older than me, it's always the 2600, which I love. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off.
No, it's cool. Yeah, the 2600 was a fun console. I remember playing games like hide and seek and breakout. I think was like a couple of the ones that I played a lot.
Adventure 2600 was
Yeah,
a really
that's a
good
good
one.
one from what I hear, but I never had that.
Oh,
Um,
really? You would
yeah,
like
I
it
never.
because it has the first ever Easter egg, or apparently the first ever Easter egg.
Oh
Um,
wow, that could make a cool TikTok video.
yeah, check it out because okay, so the Easter egg is that the creator of the game put his name. So you like unlock a door and then you see his name written in the game or something along those lines. But it was considered one of the first times like a developer was like, I'm gonna put in a little hidden thing. So it's really interesting. You should. I think it'd be a great Matt 1980s gamer video actually. So definitely
Okay,
look into that.
I'll
Um,
check it. I have to get an Atari 2600 though. Unfortunately, I don't
yeah,
have it.
I don't have one either. And can I just say something? This is something every time we talk about the 2600, the wooden accents on a console just never looked better than they were on that machine.
Everything was wooden in the 80s. Remember like the
Yeah,
wood paneling?
everything. Oh, the wood paneling on the walls, like instead of wallpaper or just paint.
Yeah,
It was,
even the cars.
oh, yeah, even cars had wood on them.
Yeah.
Jan says, and Jan, thanks for always good to see you, Jan. I'm sure I asked a few stupid questions at the game stores. Also, I mostly didn't want to talk to anyone. Biff says, like the wooden panel on the side of a station wagon. Yep, exactly. Um,
Microwaves had them.
did microwaves have wood? No
Some of them
way.
did. Like even alarm clocks had them.
All right, we got to see this. Like, let me
But yeah,
just wooden,
wood
wooden,
just yeah, wood
wooden
paneling.
wood
80s wood paneling or something.
paneling. Let's see if we get any images here. Oh wait,
Like the most
I didn't
famous.
put 80s in yet. Let me put 80s. Yeah, yeah, look at this. Remember this stuff? Like the look at this happy couple here with their
Yeah,
wooden table, wooden walls.
yeah.
That's
It
his
was all
80.
over the place.
It's all over the place. But the Atari, and let's bring up the Atari 2600 because we should. If this was your first console, it was mine. Um, it was a beautiful, beautiful machine. Uh, and uh, and there it is.
Hmm.
Just sitting pretty with its beautiful design. Even the switch button board was pretty neat, actually, and where you would throw in
Yeah,
you know the cartridge.
yeah. I remember those buttons. Like I didn't at the time. I was so young. I didn't really know what they all did. I just knew what the on-off one did, and then I
Yeah,
remember the
what did the
controller.
other buttons do?
I think they might have like didn't they might have did different game modes and stuff like that, but I can't quite remember. It's
That's
been so
funny. I
long.
don't remember either.
I remember the cartridge goes in that big slot right in the middle.
Yes, definitely. Which was, it was such a sweet, slick little machine. I have to get one. I also don't have one as well. So that being said, so we know you're a web developer. You grew up in Maryland. What's your relationship with being? I know that you kind of exploded on TikTok, but let's talk about that story. How did you end up getting to TikTok and being so successful on TikTok? Because you definitely are one of the most, in my opinion, known retro gaming TikTokers, and you do an amazing job explaining secrets in games, and you really give some really great insight. So, how did you go from zero to TikTok?
Thanks. Well, I guess it was like June of last year where I just, I was bored. The pandemic had hit and everything. And I was on Instagram a little bit here and there, but I wasn't as into it as I used to be. So I decided to just download TikTok just for fun, just to see what it was like. And I started scrolling through the videos and I was like, oh my God, these are so entertaining. Like I've never been this entertained in my life. I had a little experience with it with like when I was on Facebook videos, you know how you can like scroll through the different ones and there's like all these interesting videos that pop up. But the thing I loved about TikTok was everything was so short. And I don't know, like maybe it's just me and my attention span, but when things are that quick, you just like scroll. Like I was just having so much fun looking at all the different great videos that people were making. And then as a joke, I started making a couple of them, just for fun. And they got, like 10 views, 15 views, whatever. No big deal. I didn't really think much of it. And then I did a video of, and this will go into that story later about that viral video that I
Yeah,
did.
and we're gonna get
Uh,
into that. I have it here.
Okay, cool. I did a video of my wife. So we were at Aldi. Aldi is like a grocery store here. It's probably
in
out there
in
too.
in Maryland. It's a Maryland grocery store.
Yeah, yeah, but I think they might be they might be nationwide, but yeah. It's and anyway, so we were there and like we just dropped the kids off at my sister's house, and like we with the pandemic and everything that hit, we were just kind of being really extra careful about our groceries and touching things and sanitizing stuff. So we just started like throwing our groceries in the trunk of my car and without bags, like bagless. And then I had my wife throw some groceries in, and I took a video of her, and I was like, I'll just throw it up on TikTok as a joke just to see what happens. And I was looking at the views; they were racking up. And that video, it was like my 10th video, and it got like 2 million views.
Oh my
And
god.
that's the video that really like. Once I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome! Like, if I can get 2 million views and I have like 100 followers, like this is the platform for me. This is where you can really grow. And that's what I love about TikTok is that it's really friendly to people that are just starting out. So I started getting more and more into it, and then I was like, you know what? I did like a video of like the Legend of Zelda, like the last, the end of it, and I was like, that's people might like this, and people liked it. And then I did like Metroid, like when you finish Metroid, and I just started getting more and more into it, and yeah, and then that's how it kind of all started, and then I guess it kind of grew from there.
All right, and right now, I was showing as you were talking, Matt. I was showing your videos and showing
Oh,
people your TikToks as you were talking, so people can reference. And Genzo, can you throw down Matt's TikTok in the chat so people could check out? Also, can follow along and look at some of Matt's content. But Matt, right now, I have this recent video that you did, which is the life hack you're talking about. But I think you were on the news for this
yeah,
video.
that video is actually not the right one, but it's very
Oh,
similar to that.
my bad. I'll have
That's
to
all
find
right.
the right one.
No, it's cool. So want me to just get into that whole video and how that all went down
Yeah,
right now?
please tell us
Okay.
while I find it.
All right, cool. So uh, I I told you a little earlier that I started doing the video hack, like the grocery hacks, like the shopping thing, and then I started because people really like to see videos of my wife doing the packing and unpacking the groceries. I started doing more and more of those,
Okay.
and then eventually I started going to the store myself, and I was just like, maybe I'll do a video of myself um, uh, loading and unloading the groceries. So I did one where I just decided to like I just decided a lot of people in the comments were saying about how a good grocery hack would be if you have laundry baskets, and this was going back to last year. So I was like, maybe that is maybe that would make a cool video. So I brought the laundry basket with me when I went shopping at Aldi for food. And then I just recorded the whole thing. I threw it all together and I did the voiceover at home. And I put it up there. I said, we'll see what happens. And I knew like right in the first couple of hours after it started getting like, tens of thousands of views every hour that it was doing really well. And eventually I just I kept watching the next day and the next day, and like 3 million 4 million views, and right now I think it's at around 20. I haven't looked at it in a while, but when it was
Are
around
you
like
saying
10 million.
20 million views the shopping
Yeah,
cart hack got? That's insane, dude. That's
yeah,
insane views.
and that's just what's on TikTok. Someone on Instagram with a huge account posted it, and that got like 5 million views.
Jesus
And then,
Christ.
as you could see, it was on the Today Show.
I'm showing the news clipping that you were featured on today's show right now. I think I got the right video up.
That's the right one, yeah.
And so everyone, just so everyone knows, this is the viral video, but this is the viral video on freaking the morning show or what it was, Today Show. You said, um,
Yeah, yeah, Today Show.
showing
And
his TikTok, everybody. And what was that like, man? Like, this is a true viral video in a sense. Once the news, like, there's one thing to be viral within the platform itself, but when you're viral on the news and other platforms, then you're truly viral, right? So how did that feel?
I felt crazy because someone from NBC messaged me on Instagram about how they wanted to do a story about it, but I didn't know at the time it was going to be on the Today Show. And then, like a couple of days later, it was like 9:50, and she messaged me and she's like, Matt, turn on the Today Show. I guess they just decided at the last minute when the things are going to go live and stuff. And she's like, yeah, I think you're going to be featured on in like a few minutes. And I turned it on. I was like, I better get my phone out so I can record it because I don't know if they're going to post it online. And I recorded it and I was really excited. You could, if you guys watch the video, you can hear how excited I was because that's like my live reaction to it.
Wow.
Um, and I know TV isn't like as big of a deal as it used to be, but for me and you probably like because we grew up with TV, that's why I was making such a big deal about it because it was like so exciting. I'd never been on TV before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and you did it with TikTok, and this just goes to show you the incredible power TikTok has. And believe it or not, in the last year, there's been lots of people that were never influencers or content creators, and because of a viral video on TikTok, that's what set them off. And by no means am I anywhere near you in followers or anything, and not like I'm being competitive in that sense. I have seen major growth for myself since I started going, and you know me, I kind of do a lot of retrospective clips from the history, and I also show parts of my collection mixed in. But so back when I started, Matt, and the way I kind of decided, like, oh my God, this TikTok stuff is working for me, is I was posting highlights of the podcast originally, and no one gave a crap because they didn't know who I was. They didn't have a reference. And then I was like, why don't I show my Sega Saturn collection? And once I did a video, all I did in the video was like put a CD in my Sega Saturn and then show you like my games. And I'm like, this is my Sega Saturn. These are my Sega Saturn games. And that was all I said in the video. And then I like looked at my phone like a couple of hours later and there were 200,000 views. And it was like, I was getting like crazy followers. So I had a mini like viral video in a sense, and that's where it all clicked for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just focus like all in on just talking about retro games, and it's really been fun for me, and I've really enjoyed growing my account on TikTok and being a part of this retro community that you're a part of. So that's kind of my story. By all means, no one's going to put me on the news and be like, let's talk to Andy. Look at Andy's viral video of the Sega Saturn. Like, there's no life hack there. It's just really funny. But
They might eventually, you never know. Just keep making great content. But you're right, there really is an art to making TikTok videos. You can't just make them so that your viewers will know you every time you post a video. You have to do it in a way that people are going to see for the first time. They're going to see you, and they'll be like, "Who is this guy? Oh, this is kind of interesting. I like the way he's talking. Let me
yeah.
see. Let me keep watching, and this might be an interesting video." And then they'll like it and they'll comment and then they'll share or whatever. And the more they do that, the more people will see it, and then the faster you'll grow.
Jan said, let's see. Biff says, I followed him from retro games. I followed him for retro games and got the grocery vids as a bonus. And then Jan says, surprising the Today Show is still around. It's still cool for that to happen. And Biff Bufflin says, Andy, what is your favorite gaming system and why is it Sega Saturn? Is that what the news would ask me, Biff? Jan says, I only watch bootleg TikToks via other platforms. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, and also just before we get off the TikTok topic and really get into some really interesting questions about retro collecting, Matt, and some other things I wanted to talk to you about. What was your thoughts on the whole conspiracy around, I don't know if it was conspiracy, but like the banning of the app and that it was going to be banned from America? Were you worried as a content creator because you were doing so well on it? They were like, oh, crap, TikTok's going away now. How did you feel about that during that time?
I wasn't really that worried about it because I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think that they'd have the right to just ban an app. You know what I mean? Like, why? It's if I want to use the app, it should be my right to be able to use the app just because it's owned by a company based in China.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really. I think that at the time Trump, the president, was bluffing when he said he was going to ban it, and I think I was right because didn't he like quickly, go back? TikTok had to
Yeah.
do something, but then he just went back on his word and was like, "Yeah, all right, fine, we'll let you stay."
Yeah, it was something like that. But I think Oracle came in and said, look, we're going to host the servers in America so that people, feel a little bit better about their security or whatever. So I think Oracle and Walmart came in and did some kind of collaboration. I don't know. Um, Whatever. We
It's
got
still
we
for
got through
sale.
it. We got through it. What did you say, Matt?
Is it still for sale, TikTok? I thought I heard something about how they're trying to sell it, or like the
Is
US.
it? It could be. I don't think so, but I mean, if it's for sale, I'm down to buy it. Um, I'm just kidding. I don't think I'll ever be able to buy a platform, but I do think that the retro community and the video game community on TikTok is great. And if you noticed, it's really become a really great way for Twitch streamers to drive their content. I don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of Twitch streamers on TikTok that use it to drive their content, and I think it's a really valuable platform in that sense for live streamers. Believe it or not.
I think so too, because they could just do little clips that could be interesting on TikTok, and then the full blown like podcast or stream on Twitch. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm live. I don't see that you are live on other platforms. You somebody that you're talking
I
to.
went off. I went off on TikTok, and then now I'm back on for.
Hey, actually, TikTok's talking. I'm actually live on Twitch. You could hit my link tree and check out the stream right now if you'd like to head over. So sorry, everyone on TikTok. I can't always be in the chat, but if you want to check out the podcast from the Twitch side, head over to my link tree and just click it on. And I'm with Matt right now, the 1980s gamer from TikTok, where we met, and I'm
What's up?
glad we did. And it's great to have anyone new on the stream, and also thanks everyone. Um, for coming. Of course, you won't hear him on TikTok. You're only going to see one side of me talking. I'm so sorry, but if you want to see us both, head on over to the Twitch stream. And then Jan says, yes, indeed, Genzo Chicken. Vine, of course, popularized the small web-bound M3U streaming playlist. And then I think Genzo said TikTok is the bootleg Vine. Genzo, I used to think that, but I don't. I think that TikTok is so far beyond what Vine did, and it's so different. And people tend to compare the two, but there's parts of Vine in TikTok. But believe it or not, TikTok has way more than Vine ever did, to be honest. Um, so there you go.
Yeah, I was never really into Vine that much. I remember I downloaded the app and I started scrolling through it and I liked it, but I never got to the point where I was going to start actually making my own Vines. I just remember like it. I think they're even weren't they even shorter than TikToks? Because TikToks are like 60 seconds. I thought Vines were like 15 or something, but maybe I'm wrong.
Someone on TikTok asks, have you guys noticed if specific console content on TikTok gets views uh, if it's Sega versus Nintendo? I actually don't think that that matters. I think anyone would love a Sega like Genesis video as a pair compared to an NES video, Matt, right? I feel like it goes both ways, no?
Well, you got to think about who's watching the videos, and you got to think about like the Nintendo following is probably greater than the Sega following because Nintendo's still around, and there's a lot of more Nintendo fanboys still around than there are Sega, I feel like. So I'd say probably that Nintendo videos would do better than Sega videos. Was that the question?
Uh yeah, it was from TikTok. And no, countries there is a link tree in go to the link in the profile and there's a link tree I meant, and you could click the Twitch channel from there. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can only link out to Instagram technically, like right on the profile, but there is a link with my link tree, so check out the Twitch there. But so Matt, I want to get into it's great to I thought that was great, and I loved the fact that I could talk a little bit of the TikTok community in the retro space because you and I share that, and I love duetting your videos at times when I can. So I love hearing your secrets. So that's actually what I wanted to segue in is one of your key things I noticed that you like to do on your TikTok videos is share either Easter eggs or secrets from NES games. And is that something that just as a kid you were one of those gamers that just knew and wanted to know all the secrets? Because for me, I wasn't always great at that. So I wanted to get a feel for, first of all, is that why you enjoy making those type of videos?
I feel like I kind of make a lot of those videos just because they get a lot of views and people like to see them. I like to make all the viewers happy and like, oh wow, I didn't know that. But when I was a kid, I did more of the like the one-up tricks, just because I didn't have a genie or anything like that. So for me to sometimes get through a game, I'd have to figure out a way to cheat if it was really difficult. So like in Super Mario Brothers 3, for example, one of my favorite not cheats, but like tricks, I guess you could say, is I think it's like level 1-2 or 1-3, where you start jumping, hopping on Goombas, and you have the raccoon suit. You just keep like hopping, and eventually it goes and you start getting one ups, and you can get like 30 or 40 one ups at a time, and then eventually you can you do it again, you get 34 more one ups, and you could probably get like 100 one ups just from that one level, and then you can make it a lot easier to play through the game that way.
What's your favorite secret of all time from the NES?
Um, well, it used to probably be that Mario 3 trick that I just discussed, but now it's probably the minus world in Super Mario Brothers 1. I'm a big Mario fan, so it's always like Mario related for
So
me.
let me try to pull that up so we can reference it. I'm sure there's a YouTube video. The Minus World and Beyond, right? That sounds right.
Yeah,
All right. So
that's on that probably goes
so
like
ta-
in a lot
talk
of
us through
detail.
the minus, because this is when you go through the piping weirdly, right? And you just fly across the brick, right?
Yeah,
Am I on
yeah.
the right one? Okay.
So yeah, that's the right one. So it's a
What is
glitch.
this?
So it's like a glitch that Nintendo didn't intend to be in the game. It has to do with the way that the game was programmed, and like how there's like the blocks and stuff, and Mario can go through certain areas and cannot go through certain areas. I think it's a glitch in like that block, how the way Mario jumps when he's ducking, he can actually go through the wall, and because like I have trouble explaining honestly, but it has to do with the way the game was coded. But when he does go through that wall right there and he goes down that first pipe, it takes you to the minus world. And the minus world is really just like level 2-3 and 7-2, I believe. They're both water levels. Only one has like more enemies than the other. Like seven, the 1 and 7 has more enemies. But it's the thing with the minus world that makes it different is that once you go through the pipe at the end, you just reset back to the beginning and you just keep looping around and around
How do you get
until you
out of
run.
it? How do you reset again then? Or you
Yeah,
can't?
so you can't, like, you'll just run out of time, and then I think if you run out of time you'll start again in the minus world. So yeah, the only way to really get out of it is just to turn off your NES and turn it back on or reset it.
Interesting. And Jan says it looks like the game tries to prevent the player getting stuck in the wall, so it moves the player's character forward. It
That's
could
right.
it could be true. It could be the coding is messing with. It's like, oh, something's wrong here, so we have to get him. We have to move the character out of here. I don't know. Maybe. It's a really interesting glitch, and a really good one to note. And I remember your video on this. I know you definitely did the video on this.
Yeah, I
Um,
did. And there's actually different spots like well, and usually in the underground levels where there's a lot of bricks like that, where you can go through walls and stuff.
so
It's not just in minus world.
that's interesting. Wow. It's so funny how he just flies across the brick like that.
And like, how did the first person ever discover that? You know what I mean? Like, he would have to have been like jumping in that certain area at that certain time while ducking, and then like he just discovered it, or he or she just discovered it. That's so crazy how someone could discover that.
I know it actually is pretty crazy. Uh, quickly, someone did ask what inspired you to do your first TikTok, but I think we answered that question, right, Matt? It was the grocery hacking stuff, right? Or was there another reason behind that? Quickly.
No, it was probably the grocery, like the first one that went kind of viral with like 2 or 3 million views. Just my wife throwing the groceries into the trunk without bags. That's the first one that really got me more interested in and doing a lot more videos. But before that, like I remember the first TikTok video I did was just like I live near a lake. I was just walking around the lake and I like took a video of like a bunny or something, just something so stupid.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know TikTok at the time. It's still on my thing. You could see it if you scroll all the way down, but it's just like now, after you're on it for a while, you learn how to actually make them so that they're better, I guess.
Yeah, and then Jan says, and it's great that these tricks become well known, considering that cheat codes I would share by phone or on paper.
Yes,
The first
definitely true.
one on there is Peach in Mario 2.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, yeah. So I think at that point I was still on Instagram a lot, and I was like, you know what, let's try TikTok. I'll just do like maybe I'll start doing videos of video games like this, where I just do a real close up to the TV, and I'll see if that takes off. And it didn't do that well, but that was like the first video I posted. So
That's awesome. Okay, so let me ask you this, Matt. Tell us a little bit about your retro collection. Tell us a little bit of what you got just more of a top line scope of it, if you could.
yeah, so I started getting into retro collecting again like 5 years ago. For the longest time, since the late '90s until like 5 years ago, I did have a retro collection, but it was only like 10 or 15 Nintendo games and like 5 Super Nintendo games. And they're like the best ones, like all the Marios, the Zeldas, Super Mario Kart, Kirby, stuff like that. And then like 5 years ago, I just decided that I was gonna buy a NES game. I think it was like Donkey Kong Classics or something like that.
Yep.
It's like 2 Donkey Kong games in one. And I started and I was like, this is really fun. Maybe we should buy another one. So I bought another one, and then I started like, it starts to get addicting after a while. So I bought like, I guess I got my NES collection up to like 100, maybe like 80 games. And then I started getting to Super Nintendo and Genesis and all the other great consoles that we grew up with. And then it got to the point like 2 years ago where I was like, all right, my collection's it's big enough. And I actually started selling some of it off. I got rid of like maybe 30% of my
Dude,
collection.
I sold off some and I really regret doing that about 5 years ago. Go ahead.
Yeah. I regret some of them too that I sold off. But overall, like I think that for me, it's more about quality over quantity. Like I see a lot of collections and they're like, oh, look, it's like 3 games, 3 game rooms worth of games and walls of video games. But like how many of those games are just, like John Madden 96 that you're never going to
Oh
play?
God.
Like,
Yeah.
I prefer good quality, like all the Mario games and all the good stuff like from Nintendo and everything. So I sold off a lot of stuff that wasn't that incredible, and I just kind of kept the quality stuff.
Cool. And are you starting to collect again? Do you find yourself, collecting, still collecting here and there?
A little bit, like I did buy Kung Fu on the NES recently, and I'm thinking about buying Kirby's Adventure just because when I go live on TikTok, I like to play new games.
Yeah, I noticed. I know. I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah, so just here and there, like nothing too crazy. But with these days, with like RetroPie and stuff, with all the emulation, it's almost like you don't have. I mean, I'm a purist. I do like playing the original
Oh,
classic
don't
games.
worry. As people know on this podcast, I'm a purist too. I'm not an emulator guy. So I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah, I do have a RetroPie. I have an arcade one up in the basement with a RetroPie, so it has like a whole bunch of arcade games on it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, Kirby would be great. Says 16 bit in, and then Jan says when you have a collection, it takes up a lot of space. Absolutely, and a good example is I sold all my DVDs. I said I'm done with this. These take up way too much room. I kept the ones I really love, but I'm like I'm getting rid of these. So I sold my DVDs a while ago. Well, that's really
I went,
cool. That's really
I
cool.
went through that. I went through that like 10 years ago too, getting rid of all my DVDs. It was kind of sad, but
Jan says Matt may need to be strategic with telling about purchasing plans. All the TikTok fans may drive up the price.
that's true. Actually, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Matt, I have a couple of questions to ask you on your opinion, since you are like me and you have a good sense of retro collecting and the community environment of collecting. I want to ask you the age old question or it's become more of a common question today is what are your thoughts on digital versus physical and the future of retro collecting?
I think that for people like us, in our 30s and 40s, we're still going to like the retro stuff, like the physical media. But unfortunately, I feel like the way things are headed is that physical media is eventually going to die and digital will take over in the next, 20 years. Like in 20 years from now, I don't think that there's really going to be any more physical releases, honestly. I
Yeah,
just,
but
I don't see it happening.
do you think that when eventually we go full on digital with games, which we haven't just yet, we're almost there. I mean, we're close. It's getting there. Um, will that make retro video games the next really major collectible, tangible collectible? Um, and do you think the prices of video games in 20 years of the ones we have in our collections is going to be like large? Like, do you think that that's going to cause the market to make these games very, very valuable?
I don't think so. I feel like because as we age and everything, and the younger kids aren't as into physical games as much, I don't think the value will go up. I think it'll probably eventually go down because there's not going to be as much of collectors out there that would be interested in purchasing them. And when there's less people that want to purchase them, then I feel like the value would go down. So um, I feel like if you do want to get rid of a few games, the next few years will probably be a good time to do it if they're valuable because um, the younger kids probably wouldn't be that interested in it because they'll probably be, as they get older, they'll be all digital and they'll be used to all digital. So they're not going to care about physical stuff so much.
Right. Yeah, we did a whole episode on in my early episodes of this podcast, believe it or not. We did a whole episode on this topic, and I always find it really fascinating. Um, I don't know. I kind of feel like there is a chance, though, that at least the games that are sought after right now are going to become very valuable in the future. You know, I've already seen a spike. So I collect Sega Saturn games, and I've said the American Sega Saturn run was so limited because it didn't do so well in America that the games are very valuable, even outside of those horrible jewel cases that fall apart. You know they sell Sega Saturn games just the CD, and they're pricey. Um,
Sega Saturn, there might be, I feel like there may be a few exceptions, like Sega, like the really rare ones. They might be more valuable, and especially if they're still sealed.
yeah.
I used to collect sealed games, back in the really early 2000s when you can actually buy them and not have to spend like tens of thousands of dollars on them. And then I sold off a lot of them in the last few years. But like the more rare stuff, yeah, I feel like that might go up. But sorry for interrupting you. What were you gonna say?
No, I no, no I actually I'm not sure. I no, but no, totally what you said makes sense. I was just actually I lost my train of thought there.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I was talking about how like Sega Saturn games, for instance, might be very valuable in the future because there are games right now that are just really expensive. And I'm really lucky because I feel like a year ago I started really diving into Sega Saturn games, and my retro video game store doesn't even have them in display cases anymore. They're hard.
Wow.
They're not. They're very scarce now. And
Well, it's the pandemic that's really been causing a lot of that because I feel like a lot of people are really bored because they can't go out anymore, so they just stay home a lot,
yeah,
and they play games and like I heard the Wii controllers,
yeah,
that came with all the Wii's. The price of those have gone up a lot, like $30
no
to thirty
way.
dollars. And you used to be able to get them for like $5 each because they're made million. Nintendo made millions of them, but you can't get them because everyone wants to stay home and play Wii and stuff like that. Like the price of Wii has even gone up a lot. You used to be able to buy a Wii for $20 or $30, and now if you look on eBay, they go for like $100 sometimes.
Actually, the Wii U is becoming expensive of all things as
Is it
well.
really?
Yep.
Uh,
Can you believe
that's
that?
Yeah, I mean the Wii U, I know it didn't do too well, so maybe that's a little bit more rare, like what you're saying about the Saturn. So people want to grab them while they can before the prices go up too much.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And there's a retro video game store here that's like really old. It's like 30 years old. And I went there about a week ago, and it's really scary. I went in there, and a lot of their shelving is like, you know how like when you're running out of stock, you're spreading things out to make it look like a lot of stock. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's sad, but what's happening is also it doesn't look like people are selling their games right now, because a store like that relies on people selling their games so that they can sell their games back.
They need inventory, yeah.
So I noticed that the inventory is getting scarce. And what's up, Mr. Flight? Thanks for stopping by. Um, and just to reset, if you are new, this is Cafe BTW, morning gaming podcast, and we have the amazing, wonderful Matt, 1980s gamer from TikTok. Please, Genzo, if you could throw down the the link. Please check out Matt's TikTok. It's awesome, really cool stuff. He also really knows a lot about grocery life hacks when you're grocery shopping. That's his other specialty.
Also, I just want to mention I do a lot of like '80s stuff.
Yes, 80s stuff and nostalgia. Yes. Tell us about that.
So I've always been like, I don't know, nostalgic for the '80s, I guess, ever since I was younger. I mean, I grew up in the '80s, so I guess that's probably why. But like even in the '90s, I thought back to the awesome movie, how great the movies were and the video games. And then the early 2000s, same thing. So I started thinking about videos on TikTok that people would want to see that are my age. And I just started doing like the '80s, a lot of '80s throwback videos. Lately, I've actually been doing a lot of movie stuff too. I'm trying to get more into movies.
Yeah, I'm on the
So
one that says reasons why the 80s were so rad, and you did the movies, the toys. I got that video up right now. With Back to the Future obviously being one of my favorite 80s movies, probably one of my favorite movies of all time, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great movie.
it's a great movie. I'm also, as you know, Matt, not only a big retro person, but I do some nostalgic 80s stuff on there too. I love like just the funniness. If you notice on my TikTok, I like to do news reports because I
Yeah.
like to see how, like in the 80s and 90s, how the media portrayed like gaming. And it's so interesting in the 80s and 90s how they talked about gaming. There's some really funny videos that I found and just really weird commentaries about games back then where you're like, what? And a lot of the main ones are the violence in video games, you know, and how they treated
Oh yeah.
like
Like when
making.
Mortal Kombat came out, do you remember that?
Yeah,
How everyone was so
oh
upset.
god, everyone was so pissed off with Mortal Kombat. It was crazy. And Sanity says Ferris Bueller, you know, obviously one of the most known 80s movies ever, without a doubt. Um,
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters for sure. Yes, Ghostbusters for sure, as well. So Matt, as we're getting to the end, um, before we get into we're going to give away a game today. I wanted to ask, where do you see yourself growing in this influencer market? Where do you want to go, or do you maybe not have any far-reaching goals with what you're doing right now from, you know, your creator side? But I'd love to hear, you know, what does the future hold for Matt, the 1980s gamer?
I don't really know because it's kind of so new to me still, like TikTok. I mean, I've only been on the app for like 7 or 8 months at this point. So I don't really have a goal. Like I did start a Discord. We spoke about that earlier, I guess, but I'm trying to get a lot of people to sign up there. I may start doing Twitch more, and I do have a YouTube channel, and I might start posting more videos to that. But as far as TikTok, like I don't. It really depends on what's going to happen with the app, and that's why I'm really curious, like what the future of TikTok is, because I heard that a lot of I heard that the way where TikTok is headed is kind of like what Instagram did, where you know how Instagram now is a lot more selling products. Like they took away the camera icon on the bottom. Now it's just like shop. It's like a shopping bag. You just
Yep.
like buy. You scroll through and you just buy products. I heard that that's what TikTok might be trying to do to make more money. So I don't know what it means for like people like me if it's all moving to that.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess I'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see what happens. I'll just try to keep making awesome videos. People will keep hopefully enjoying them, and then we'll see what happens. But
Well,
long
you're
term,
doing a great job, and what I love about your growth is it's all organic. It's all just you posting, you know, whether it's your life hack stuff or your retro video games. You know, I know you've got phenomenal growth, and it's really cool to follow along with your journey. As long and kind of where we intersect as being part of that retro gaming community and that nostalgia community that is so cool on TikTok. So I'm glad to be in your company, my friend, and it's awesome. And I want to thank you for coming on. And what we like to do, Matt, is we do a giveaway. And
okay,
I'm gonna put the starting soon screen back on, so I set this up. Matt, give me 1 second, and we're gonna get the show. We're gonna get this Stream Racer game going that our wonderful community loves playing. But we'll be right back. And Matt, I'll be right back. Okay.
okay, great.
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
No worries.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna let me switch the screen again. This is so everybody, I have an exciting announcement too as well. Uh, Let me switch this so we can go back on screen. Okay, so I do have an exciting thing to tell everyone that not only are we going to be giving away a game playing Stream Racer today, but I'm going to be giving away the first ever NFT Digital Good attached to the podcast. There is, and let me show you guys. I have made and minted what we call NFTs. Do you know what an NFT is, Matt?
No, no, I don't.
It's a digital item on the blockchain, and after you win today, I'm gonna share a chance for whoever wins this race to get the Cafe BTW NFT, which is a logo of the podcast that is a digital item. It's free. It could be worth something in the future, but I wanted to be a part of this like digital good generation. So yes, not only will you get a code for the game, today's game is Tabletop Playground, which is the game I'm giving away. I don't know anything about it, but too bad. It's the game. But you're also going to get the first ever Cafe BTW NFT. So how about
That's
that?
exciting. First one. That's
First
cool.
one I'm giving away, and I'm so excited. So everyone that wants to join the race, and including you, Matt, and if you win, Matt, we'll give the giveaway to whoever's second place. But this is called Stream Racers. Put ! race in chat, everybody, right now to join the race, to win the NFT, to have a chance of winning the game. ! race. So Matt, if you put ! race in chat, yep. I know there's a lot of people here, so remember, we're doing a giveaway for a game and an NFT, okay? I don't think anyone's ever used Stream Racer to give away an NFT before, but hey. So I'm gonna start the clock. You have a minute to join, everybody. If you're still in the chat and you haven't joined, we got 7 racers so far. We got 8 actually now. I know we got a little bit more in chat. I know if you were lurking, don't worry, don't be shy. Put an ! race and join us in. We had a wonderful podcast with Matt here talking about retro video game collecting, and we're going to end this show with a nice good old stream race. And Matt, the way this game works is it's an RNG game, so basically it automatically will do like a race with our names, and it will like just we'll see the cars racing, and a winner will be chosen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Get the NFT so North Korea can break in and scoop them all up. Hey, I'm excited. I made a collection of special NFTs for the podcast, so I do have some other special ones to share, but today we're going to be giving away the logo. And if you don't know how to store an NFT, it's simple, but it looks like the race is starting, everyone. So whoever entered, good luck. Here we go. The race has begun. We got Jan and Biff out in the lead with 16 bidden and official Mr. Flight in the background. We're going to pull out so we can get a nice look at the start of it. But we look like Biff was in the lead, but he fell off. And it looks like everyone seems to be stuck in this section of the race, so that sucks. But Biff is still in first place, and he's not on the road. So I don't know. Oh, he pulled it off. It looks like he is on the road. Biff is far out front, with everyone else kind of stuck. Oh yeah, and if you do ! boom, everyone, ! boom can give you a speed burst if you have biddies. But so Biff is now in a lake, and I don't know how he's still in first place, but he's in a lake. Official Mr. Flight is flying across the screen, and he is in second place somehow. Biff is still in first, but he looks like he's going to respawn. We got, let's go back to 16 in third place. We got Jan in fourth. We got 1980s Gamer yourself, Matt, in the back there with Genzo, with Genzo's fancy little speed car. No Fear is way in the back. Sandy Crypto ain't doing that great. And we're going to go back to the front where Biff is still in first place. Still in first place with Mr. Flight still in second place. And I don't know where he's going, but Jan is trying to get there. Nope. Wow, this seems like a tough one. There's a lot of obstacles here. But Biff somehow has still kept the lead the entire race. Although he's respawning now, and everyone else is stuck on the tires here. But we still got Biff. He is moving forward. He has been the most consistent car without getting stuck, and it looks like he's going to fly over the top of that wall very nicely, but he's went a little too far. And then Mr. Flight is still in second place.
This reminds me of that game Off-Road. Do you remember that game Off-Road?
Oh, yeah, it definitely has the off-road vibe. So, whoa, what's going on there? I don't know what happened there, but we got Jan flying. Jan, you have to drive on the road, okay? That's and Mr. Flight, same with you, buddy. Cars don't fly. But Mr. Flight is technically in first place somehow. I don't know what's going on. With Biff in second place, with Mr. Flight somehow in first place in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea how you're in first. But Biff takes. Oh, it looks like Mr. Flight, you're no longer in first place. We got the official Biff in first, but we got everyone kind of flying back in. This is a long race, too. Mr. Flight, that is not the road. So you might want to figure out what's going on with yourself there, buddy. Biff is still in first. And, Biff has been our commanding leader, Matt. What do you think of Biff's effort here?
Incredible.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible effort by Biff.
Do they steer or is it just kind of random?
No, it's random. This is all random. So that's why it's like a fair thing to use as a giveaway option. So it's totally random.
That's so cool.
Biff is still out front. Let's go in the back. There you are, Matt, but you're not doing so well. No Fear is in the back. And Jan, you're in last place. I'm so sorry. Biff and Genzo made a comeback. He's in second somehow. But it looks like Biff's going to win the race. Congratulations, Biff. You have won.
Thanks,
And oh, wow. Nice job going through the ring. You have won, sir, not only a video game, but the first NFT for Cafe BTW. Congratulations, Biff. But we'll let the race end. We got second place. It looks like Genzo. And then let's see who's going to get third place. In third place, we got 16. Nice job with Sanity coming in fourth. Here comes the rest of the gang. We got official Mr. Flight coming in at fifth place with Jan following suit at sixth. And then followed by No Fear at seventh. And unfortunately, Matt, it looks like you're in last place.
Oh, man.
Pushing cones and tires.
Yeah.
But you made
Not
it.
doing too well.
You finished the race, though.
At least I finished. Okay, good.
You finished the race, right? Or you sort of did.
I'm still working on it.
You're still working on it.
Is it just one lap?
It's just no. It's like one major lap. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one major lap. But you're gonna make it. We all made it through the race today, and that's great. Let's give it up for Biff. Second place, Genzo. 16-bit in third. Sanity in fourth. Mr. Flight in fifth. Jan in sixth. And No Fear seventh, with Matt in last place. Hey, I mean, you were the guest. We didn't want you to win, We wanted someone else to win. So thanks for taking last place, Matt. That being said, Biff, I know how to find you. I will send you a link to the NFT, and all you have to do is follow the prompts to create what's called a Wax web wallet where you can hold this thing. And also, I will send you the code for what's called Tabletop Playground. And, hopefully you'll enjoy it. I don't know anything about it. I think you make your own tabletop games with it, which is pretty neat. This is a little trailer of exactly what it is. But I have a special person I want to raid today. And Matt, I don't know if you know what raiding means on Twitch. Raiding means we could take all of our audience when we finish and send it to another streamer's audience. So we're all going to go over and say hello. When we end this stream, we go over and support another. And today, I have a really special person that she is still live. She has done a 24-hour cancer, Stamp to Cancer stream. And I would love to raid her because I think she's almost at the end of her 24-hour stream. And Matt, I think I told you off here that, I work for Stand Up to Cancer, and we do cancer research. So this wonderful, I work for Stand Up to Cancer. Hold on. This wonderful streamer is doing a charity stream. What do you think of that?
It's great. That's a great cause. Definitely awesome.
Yeah. So let me figure
So
out.
what is it? What is she streaming? A game?
She's playing. She did a 24-hour stream. She's been playing games. She's been dressing up in cosplay. She's been doing all types of stuff. And I definitely want to show her some love. But Matt, can you just give us a little bit where you can find you? I know, and I know you have your TikTok, but is there anywhere else you'd like us to share, or anything you'd like to share to the audience before we head out?
Yeah, just if you guys are into Discord, check it out. Go to my TikTok page and click on the link tree, and then you'll see the Discord is like the second link down, because I'm trying to build up a retro game community on Discord with a lot of TikTokers and people from Twitch and everything. So I'll just check it out. It's a lot of fun. We're just chatting about games and stuff.
That's awesome. And Matt, I hope you had a great time. I had a wonderful time talking to you, man. And just like,
it was fun. Sorry, I was a little nervous. This is my first time being interviewed.
You're not
Like usually, when I'm
nervous?
doing, yeah, usually when I'm doing like TikTok videos, I'm just like, like I can record, I can adjust, I can change it if I need to. But like this is my first time, so. But it was
Well,
fun. It was a lot of fun.
dude, I mean, like, I like to say that my podcast is more like shooting the shit. So there's no pressure. There's, it's totally chill. Dude, I loved having you. I'm going to together a little highlight video. I'll throw it up on TikTok. And then I'll send you a link to the full episode as well, which once we finish, I will make the full VOD available. I want to thank everyone that stopped by. Let's give Show Tiger some love. She's doing a 24-hour charity stream, guys. She's been going. She's got like an hour left of a 24-hour charity stream for cancer research, and
I'm gonna watch them.
we know how important that is, right? We know how important
Yeah.
it is to get in front of cancer. Everyone has some sort of connection, so let's support her. Thank you so much, Matt, for your time.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Yeah, it was great, man. I hope to have you again, and I'll see you in the TikTok verse, and
Yeah.
I'll take care, everyone, and we'll see you next Saturday. All
Bye.
right, we're gonna raid in 9 seconds, everybody. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raid. And